ladies and gentlemen, behind the velvet rope.
Hey, welcome in. I'm Kevin. Class is in session. It's behind the velvet rope. Let's talk about how you should dress going to the gentleman's club right now. I get questions about that all the time. Should you dress to impress? You're not going to prom. You don't need to wear a three-piece suit. You don't need to dress like you're going to a wedding or funeral. Dress comfortable. Now, when you come in, of course, the girls are going to notice how you're dressed. If you're in ratty jeans and a beat-up T-shirt, they're going to notice that. But wear some slacks, good jeans, good shirt. They're going to notice that as well. Now, when you're coming in, comfort is the key. You want to be there a few hours. You want to relax. You want to enjoy it. Don't wear anything constricting. And also, we've talked about do's and don'ts at the gentleman's club. Don't wear basketball shorts without underwear. Speaking of how not to dress, that just creeps the girls out and keeps them further away from you. Dress to impress. Have fun. And make sure you call ahead or check the club's website. Wherever you are, they'll have one. Find out what the dress code is all about because they all have a dress code, whether it's no gang colors, no cuts if you're a biker, or it can be as simple as no tank tops in some areas, depending on where you go. Now, don't take the dress code personal. It's just the club aiming for the clientele they want. And they want you, but they don't want you to scare the people at the table next to you. So if they have a no baggy pants rule, that's because that's not the clientele they're aiming at. Some clubs have it, some clubs don't. It's not a racial thing, it's a financial thing. They don't want the guy that's got $800 in his wallet and a Rolex to be scared about the people next to him at the table. And that's just the cold facts of the bar business. It works that way. And some of the other things when you're going in, please, on behalf of your staff, entertainers, and management, bathe. Lately, that's been a trend. People come into the bars and they smell. Not I just got off work 8 hours at a construction site. It's midnight. They've been home all night and decide to go out. They still smell. Now, you can take the smell too far. You don't want to wear so much cologne that there's a wave of scent when you walk by that table. But just find a balance. Be happy with what you find and do it that way. But yeah, definitely when you go in, make sure you're bathed. Make sure your clothes are clean. Make sure you're ready to be in public. You're going to have a beautiful young entertainer sitting, talking to you, hanging on your every word. You don't want her to be gagging while she's hanging on every word you're saying. That's a fact. Like I say, it's just how you dress when you go to the club. Dress codes, like I say, it's not personal. I've worked at clubs that wouldn't allow you in if you're wearing a football jersey. They wouldn't allow you in if you're wearing a tank top or, of course, obviously gang colors if you're in a gang area. I mean, if you're in Topeka, Kansas, you're probably not in a gang area, but it depends on where you are. I worked in Dallas where we let people in for free if they wore a tie in, but we wouldn't let anybody wearing a jersey. In Dallas, still can't wear the Cowboy jersey. Just depends on the gentleman's club you're going to. Check the website. Don't be shocked when you get to the front door because there's nothing worse than you're with 6 of your buddies and you go to the club and one of your friends is wearing something that he's not allowed in. Now, at that point, he's hoping you have a crumpled up shirt in the back of your car that he can put on or something like that. That's embarrassing for your friend. That's embarrassing for you. Check the website, get the details on where you're going, and know what you're doing when you get there.
So I have a question for you there,
All
Kevin.
right, absolutely.
While you're on the topic of this, why do these clubs have dress codes? Why do they have that? Why are they in place?
Dress codes are in place because it is a minor form of crowd control. Like I say, it's to encourage people with money to come in because money makes the bar business go, especially gentlemen's clubs. I mean, they will encourage, like I say, clubs I worked at in Dallas and Oklahoma City and in Denver, if you wore a tie, you got in for free. You beat the cover by wearing a tie just because you're more presentable. You look better in the crowd. Now, like I say, some clubs are more lenient about their dress code. Most clubs aren't going to let biker colors in. If whatever, we're Sons of Anarchy or whatever, you're not going to get in wearing your cut. It's just, they've seen too many problems break out in the clubs, too many brawls. Or the drunk, beard up frat boy says, I'll impress the girl by knocking out the biker, which never goes well for the frat boy. But again, if he's not wearing his colors, he's not likely to be a target of the frat boy.
Well,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like to an extent. Yeah,
To an extent. And I mean, like when I worked in Los Angeles, we didn't let anybody wear head to toe red or blue. We weren't picking sides in the Crips and the Bloods, but we weren't about to get in a crossfire either.
Hey, look, I've worked at one where they said no backwards hats. You can wear the hat, just turn it around.
Oh, I've worked in that club too. I mean, there's clubs like that all across the country where the backwards hat is a sign of anarchy. I mean, I've never really seen that. I don't get it. I've never seen the backwards hat guy start a riot. But, you know, I mean, there are clubs that think, and some of it is the generation that owns these clubs, they're in their 60s and 70s for the most part. They're a little more conservative than any other generation that you're dealing with.
I'd say older.
Yeah, some of them are older than that, yeah. But, I mean, 60s and 70s minimum. Some of them are creeping up on 80.
More like raised in the 60s.
Yeah, they might have been raised in the 60s. And hey, in the 60s, if you went to a gentleman's club, you were wearing a jacket and a tie or you didn't get in. So,
Did they
yeah.
call them go-go bars back then?
I think they called them go-go bars. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Then the 70s was discos.
No, discos was a whole different form of dancing. The 70s was when the gentlemen's clubs really started to flourish, but, you know, it was a different animal.
Too far on the tangent there, man. Well, back to what you were...
Back to our subject of dress. You know, really, the bottom line still, when you go to the club, dress comfortable, but know the code before you get there. Don't be surprised when you get to the door. That's the bottom line. I mean, if you went to watch your team play in an NFL game and you were at Buffalo Wild Wings and things or whatever it is, and you're all wearing jerseys and you get to the club, it's a bummer to be turned away because you're all wearing jerseys. So, you know, it's just the way it is. You got to focus on that. And, you know, we're going to cover in the next episode, again, ladies, how you're supposed to dress when you get there. But, guys, right now I'm focused on you because you're the ones with the questions. You're the one that wants to go to the club. You want to impress the girl. And, you know, smart girls don't judge you by what you're wearing because I've seen billionaires wear overalls. I mean, it happens. We're not talking about Steve Jobs wearing overalls, but, you know, I've seen billionaires wear them. Dress to impress, dress clean, don't smell, shower, groom, and take care of yourself before you get there.
I got a point. We got like a minute or two to touch on this.
All right.
You know, I'm sure, like, you know, most guys are like, okay, so how much cologne should I put on, or should I put on any cologne? You know, definitely, I would say, you know, put on some deodorant. You know,
Deodorant for sure, and cologne. Yeah, a little bit of cologne's fine. Now, I'm not picking on anybody, but there are certain construction workers that they come in after work. You get 4 of them sitting at a table. You walk by, you get hit in the face. It's like tear gas. They've got so much cheap cologne on. There's a reason in my booth I burn candles and incense. It's the wave of cologne coming my way. It just kind of pushes it back.
touch on that part right there. You know, if you're coming off of work, and I know you want a beer, but I mean, should you even come in?
Well, there is happy hour, and Gentlemen's Club have happy hour, and it's okay to come in. But if you stink, don't. I have a bartender who won't serve you if he can smell you from across the bar. That's a horrible way to be cut off. And really, I mean, just know your surroundings and know yourself. And if your buddies stink, be his friend and tell him, hey, dude, maybe a shower before we go to the club. That's the best thing you can do, because you don't want a 20-year-old girl crawling all over you or dancing on you and gagging while she's doing it.
Yeah, me
It's
either.
a bad optic, ladies and gentlemen.
Shoot, as a customer, I don't want to be sitting at the next table, smelling that either.
Oh, and we've all been to a club where you smell somebody sitting next to you at the bar at the next table, and you're just like, dude, they have deodorant for a reason. Use it. It's a fact, man. By the way, I want to thank, Andrew for producing today. Without him, I'd be a little bit lost. He knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's been to bars with me and we smelled that guy sitting next to us or looked over and seen the guy in the creepy basketball shorts.
More than a few times.
Don't be that guy. That's all I can tell you, man.
And I'll just say this, before we close it out right here, before we end, the bell rings and we have to go on to the next class, that it may be early in the morning while we're recording this, but I'm enjoying it. It's a good, deep conversation that, you and I don't get to do a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Totally is. And like I said, I hope this information helps you. When you go to the club, I want you to have the best possible experience. And part of that is being prepped and being ready for that experience.
And I will go ahead and say, make sure to comment down, let any questions you might have. And
yeah, if you've been a smelly guy, please let us know.
Yeah, no doubt.
And by all means, please like and subscribe, even if you smell.
All right, man. go ahead.
That's it, folks. We're just about out of time on this session. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for checking out. Again, like and subscribe. I'm Kevin. It's Behind the Velvet Rope. Class dismissed.